PWP people, and this is something I'd be useless at, is livestock roundup. I'm not a cowboy, you know, I don't even have a pair of cowboy boots, you know, I wear sandals. I'm from California, you know, we dress funny and,
It's okay.
you know, have a funny accent, whatever. And another thing that, you know, opportunity for fundraising and membership drives and things. So this is something that, you know, maybe some of the ladies could do, you know, when they don't want to patrol or get involved in some of these other things. So, okay. Okay, some of the programs that they offer when we have our meetings, just this last month, unfortunately I missed it. I was in Connecticut with my daughter and my new grandson, so I missed it. But the sheriff was there with a crime investigator.
That's your daughters?
What's that?
Was it your daughters?
My daughter is in Connecticut, yeah.
I know, that's what I was saying. Why was he there? I'm just kidding.
No. But I missed the program with the sheriff. I would have liked to have been there and heard him talk about, you know, all the details about where the crime areas are and why some areas are getting hit instead of others, or why some houses are more vulnerable than others, depending on, you know, the look of the place. Like if you go on vacation, you don't want it to look like nobody's there. You know, a lot of people, you know, anyway. So this would be, you know, one of the programs, and the sheriff and crime investigators, they come out periodically. So last I heard, they're talking maybe at least quarterly, that the sheriff would try to get out there and share what's going on in the county with regards to the crime. And the crime investigators, it's real informative as to, you know, they can tell you, you know, why, you know, what the MO is for these different burglars and stuff. A lot of it, you know, it's because of the drug traffic and stuff. And another one of the programs we talk about is ways to safeguard your homes when you're away. One program that we've got, this is one that Anthony puts on, is Operation Identification to protect your personal property. And so this is a way, they're setting it up so that you can actually, your valuable property, you put like your driver's license on them, and then you actually, they're setting it up so that then you can contact the sheriff's office once they get the computer system ready to handle all this data. And you can actually have them have list of what you have and your contact information and your, but the key is to have your valuables either make a record of the serial number, like if you have guns, that kind of thing. If there's not a serial number, then at least put your driver's license number on it somewhere, on like a TV or something like that, so you can.
But then what if you want to sell it?
You can go ahead and sell it. It's just if somebody steals it, you can contact the sheriff's office, and they've got a record that this was your property, and if they, you know, get their property back, they'll know whose it is. And
but you'd want to take it off before you sold it.
Well, possibly. Most people, yeah, I mean, you put it someplace where it's not real obvious. Then whoever steals your property, if it's real obvious, they'll just scratch it off.
Yeah, if you don't have some sort of identification number on it and it is stolen, and even if the sheriff finds it, you'll never get it back, even if you can identify without a number.
Yeah, unless you've got a record, like if you've registered it with the sheriff's department, you know, maybe the serial number or something like that, you know, then they'll know that it's yours. But you have to have some kind of record to show that that's your property. Mm-hmm. So this is another one of the programs that we have through PWP. Another thing that we're working on is disaster preparation. We've had gentlemen from FEMA come out and speak, a gentleman from American Red Cross talking about some of the programs that they have in training and that kind of thing for being prepared for disaster, being able to work alongside fire and police, you know, in the event of a large disaster. I know when I was in California, the big thing everybody's worried about is a big earthquake. And they know that there's no way that the fire and police departments are going to be able to handle a major disaster like that. So they were training up, and FEMA was actually paying for it. They were training up a lot of people to be able to come alongside the fire department and the police department and help in a major disaster. So let's talk a little bit about crime statistics. Yeah, property crimes are about 97% of the crimes that take place in the county. Mostly it's property crimes, such as burglary, theft, auto theft. Those are all property crimes. For burglary, in the month of July, for the county, there were 33 burglaries. Doesn't sound too bad, but I'd like to get it down. In Precinct 1, we had 8 burglaries. The main thing was thefts. You know, you leave stuff out where people, you know, some value, somebody might just walk off with it. For thefts, for the county, it was 54 thefts. I think that included 2 auto thefts. And for Precinct 1, we had 15. And other crimes for the county, the only other crimes really were sex offenses. There were 9 for the county, and aggravated assault, there were 3. So really isn't a real high rate of crime, but a lot of this is kind of tied in with the, you know, drug trafficking and that kind of stuff. So.
Does it go up as the temperature goes up, or have you noticed
Yeah,
that yet?
during the summer, it's kind of interesting, but during the summer, that's when the burglaries and thefts tend to increase. And also during like November, December, you know, during the holidays, you know, people have a lot of packages and stuff, and people like to break in and steal stuff that's brand new, you know, from under the tree. And
Do most of the burglaries take place in highly populated area or in the rural areas?
well, for the county, we're talking just the rural areas.
Just
We're
rural,
not talking,
okay.
cause like, I live in Van, and, you know, we've got our own police force and stuff, and a marshal there and stuff.
So you're just talking about rural.
And, yeah, so this would be the rural areas,
Scary.
and, yeah, I'm not sure, you know, what the crime rates are in the cities, or in Canton, or Gansel.
I think the sheriff said the rural areas are composed of about 60,000 of the population of this county.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mostly the rural.
So we're affecting 60,000 persons in the county to rural crime.
Yeah.
What's
When
the
you
whole
think there's only-
population?
When there's only 2 deputies out there on patrol, you can see why they really need some help, you know. people-
Prime time for burglaries are gonna be between
County
9
list
o'clock in
of-
the morning
I don't know exactly.
and about
what it is.
2:30 in the afternoon
It's
during your
not a whole lot more than
during your
that.
school time, because that's when everybody's gone.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that burglaries happen more at night, but actually they happen more during the day.
Yeah, that's true,
Because
especially the thefts, you know, people will see stuff, but, you know, they'll know that nobody's home generally, because people are working, or like you say, school and that kind of thing, so that's a good point. And that's when we do most of our patrolling, is during the day, and usually in the mornings, because that, you know. And what we do is, I've got a map over there, that, you know, take a look at later if you want, that shows the different sectors. And in Precinct 1, there are 21 different sectors, and so we kind of target which sectors, you know, have the most crime, and those are the areas we try to patrol in. And, yeah, so, you know, and again, we try to do most of our patrolling in the mornings and stuff, because that seems to be, and that's why it's interesting when the sheriff comes out, he'll share, you know, what times these burglaries are taking place and that kind of thing. So, anyway, the sheriff, he's been very appreciative of the PWP program, our Precinct Watch program, and he feels that it is helping keep the crime rate down. And he would like to see it expanded. So a couple of the things that they're planning on doing in the future, they're putting together a flyer or a little brochure to hand out at the schools for the kids to take home to their parents, to tell them about the Precinct Watch program, with the idea that hopefully we'll get more volunteers, more members in the different precincts. And yeah, I know last year they had a deal here in Canton where they actually had a parade and all that. Got a lot of exposure with that.
Crime Watch Fair.
The what fair was it?
Crime Watch Fair.
Crime Watch Fair, that's
Yeah.
right, that's what it was called.
Had a decent enough turnout. It was
Yeah,
a
yeah,
big,
actually
a lot of, a big effort of the people in the Precinct Watch program
Yeah.
and all.
Yeah, I took my 2 granddaughters to it.
Yeah.
They thought it was fun watching the fire trucks go by and. Okay, well, that pretty much explains, most everything I have to know about the precinct watch program. Any questions? Yeah.
Have you, or the various precincts, have they actually caught anybody?
Um,
I mean, actually reported a crime?
yeah, I think they have.